We trust them to protect us, to uphold the law, to be the guardians standing between chaos and order. But what happens when those same officers become the criminals they swore to stop? And worse, what if their crimes were all captured on camera for the world to see? From a prison officer who tried to flee the country after her sex tape went viral, to a cop who shot her ex-girlfriend's new partner in cold blood, you won't believe how these stories end. Drop a comment with your location and what time you're watching. We love hearing from you. Let's get into it. 1. Yvonne Wu. So let's start with Yvonne Wu, a 31-year-old NYPD officer with 5.5 years on the force. On October 13, 2021, Wu made a decision that would destroy multiple lives forever. She was off-duty but had her NYPD-issued pistol with her. Her targets, ex-girlfriend Jenny Lee, 23, and Jenny's new partner, Jamie Liang, a 24-year-old NYU dental student. Wu and Jenny had broken up just 1 month earlier, but Wu wasn't handling it well. Friends later described her as a psychopath and a possessive stalker. Those weren't just harsh words. They were warnings nobody took seriously enough. The crime itself was calculated and cold. Wu let herself into Jenny's Bensonhurst, Brooklyn apartment and waited in the bedroom. When the couple came home, she shot Jamie once in the chest. He died instantly. Then she shot Jenny in the torso. Jenny survived, but here's what's truly disturbing. While on the phone with 911, Wu yelled, "I told you not to mess with me, and that's what you get." She wasn't panicking or remorseful. She was making sure her message was heard. Anyway, when other officers arrived at the scene, they found Wu outside the apartment. The arrest was captured on camera, and what struck everyone was how Wu appeared, calm, collected, and very forthcoming. It was almost as if she'd been waiting for them. The next day, October 14, 2021, she was formally charged with second-degree murder and attempted murder. The legal process took years. On June 24, 2024, Wu pleaded guilty to first-degree manslaughter and attempted second-degree murder. Then, on August 28, 2024, she received her sentence, 27 years in prison. That's 22 years for manslaughter and 5 for attempted murder, served consecutively. Wu won't be eligible for parole until 2051. 2. Amber Guyger.
I'm an off-duty officer. I thought it was in my apartment, and I shot a guy thinking it was my apartment.
Okay, we have help on the way.
I know, but I'm going to lose my job. I thought it was my apartment.
Amber Guyger was a 30-year-old Dallas Police Department officer. On September 6, 2018, she came home from her shift still in uniform. But then something went terribly wrong. Guyger entered what she thought was her own apartment. Except it wasn't. She had walked into the apartment directly above hers, 1 floor up. The apartment belonged to Botham Jean, a 26-year-old accountant who worked at PwC. Botham was originally from St. Lucia and was known as a kind, gentle person who loved to sing in his church choir. That night, he was sitting on his couch, eating ice cream and watching TV in his own home. Here's the part that still doesn't make sense to a lot of people. Guyger later claimed she thought Botham was an intruder in her apartment. She shot him once in the chest. He died. Now, there were so many red flags she missed. Botham's apartment had a bright red doormat right outside the door. Guyger's didn't. She had also parked on the wrong floor. How do you miss all of that? Well, it gets worse. Her body-worn camera wasn't recording because she was off duty. Phone records later revealed she'd been texting and calling a romantic partner around the time of the shooting. Initially, she claimed self-defense, but the evidence didn't support that. The case was first charged as manslaughter. But on November 30th, 2018, prosecutors upgraded the charge to murder. The trial happened almost a year later. On October 1st, 2019, after just 6 hours of deliberation, the jury found Guyger guilty of murder. The very next day, October 2nd, she was sentenced to 10 years in prison. Prosecutors had asked for 28 years, so many people felt the sentence was far too lenient. Then something unexpected happened. Botham's younger brother Brant walked up and hugged Guyger, saying he forgave her. Guyger is currently serving at a state prison in Gatesville, Texas. On October 11, 2024, she was denied parole. Her next chance comes in October 2026, and on November 20, 2024, a civil trial ordered her to pay the Jean family $98.65 million. 3. Sarah de Meulemeester. Sarah de Meulemeester, a 26-year-old officer with the Greater Manchester Police. She was based at Cheadle Heath Police Station, and on December 26, 2020 Boxing Day, she was responding to an emergency call about a domestic incident involving a knife. She was part of a convoy of 3 police cars rushing to the scene. Here's the thing. De Meulemeester was a basic-level police driver. That meant she was required to observe all speed limits, even during emergencies. She was not authorized for statutory exemptions. In other words, she couldn't speed the way advanced trained officers could, but that day, she did anyway. So what happened? Well, an advanced trained officer in the convoy overtook her with emergency lights flashing. De Meulemeester initially slowed down, which was the right move, but then she did something reckless. She accelerated again. She reached 61 miles per hour in a 30-mile-per-hour zone. That's more than twice the legal limit. To make matters worse, she overtook a civilian car by driving on the wrong side of a traffic island. And then she hit someone. 15-year-old Kia Whitehead was crossing Garner's Lane in Stockport. She didn't stand a chance. The impact left Kia with catastrophic, life-changing injuries. She now requires round-the-clock care. Her life, her future, everything changed in an instant because an officer who wasn't supposed to be speeding decided to do it anyway. The evidence was clear. Police car speed data recorded de Meulemeester's excessive speed. There was no disputing what had happened, but when investigators questioned her, she initially claimed she had been traveling at normal road speed. Then she declined to answer further questions about her manner of driving. That reluctance to take responsibility didn't help her case. On April 21, 2023, de Meulemeester was found guilty of causing serious injury by dangerous driving at Liverpool Crown Court. Less than a month later, on May 19, 2023, she was sentenced to 2.5 years in prison. The Independent Office for Police Conduct also found that she had a case to answer for gross misconduct. Kia's family released a statement that really captured the frustration and pain they were feeling. They said, her jail sentence is not going to bring Kia back, but having her held accountable sets a tone to all other police officers who continuously break their own laws. It's a powerful reminder that the people who are supposed to enforce the rules aren't above them. 4. Stephanie Heaps. Stephanie Heaps worked as a prison officer at HMP Wymot, and while she was there, she began a secret relationship with an inmate named Leon Ramsden. Now, Leon wasn't just any prisoner, he was serving a life sentence for murder. But Stephanie didn't see that as a red flag. Instead, she fell for him. When Stephanie applied to join Greater Manchester Police, she hid this relationship. She passed background checks and became a police officer, but the relationship continued through illegal mobile phones Leon had in his cell. She shared sensitive police information with him, giving a convicted murderer access to intelligence that could have compromised investigations. But wait, there's more. Stephanie became involved with Leon's organized crime group. We're talking money laundering, drug dealing, and conspiracy to burglarize an address in Street Helens in November 2019. Someone even posted a computer-generated image on social media showing Stephanie and Leon marrying. In September 2019, the Greater Manchester Police Anti-Corruption Unit launched an investigation supervised by the Independent Office of Police Conduct. By January 2020, they arrested her. She gave a no-comment interview and resigned weeks later. In October 2022, Stephanie pleaded guilty to multiple charges: misconduct in public office as both a police officer and prison officer, intentionally encouraging or assisting commission of an offence, conspiracy to commit burglary, and conspiracy to transfer, conceal, or convert criminal property. On July 4, 2024, she was sentenced at Bolton Crown Court to 4 years and 3 months in prison. Leon got 5 years and 7 months concurrent with his current sentence. In October 2023, Stephanie was barred from policing at an accelerated misconduct hearing. Detective Chief Inspector Jennifer Adams said she was shocked by Stephanie's brazen disregard for professional standards. 5. Linda de Sousa Abreu.
And I have to sentence you for the offence of misconduct in that public office. On 25th of June 2024, you engaged in sexual activity with a prisoner. That compromised your role as a prison officer and was misconduct which undermined discipline within the prison and put fellow officers at
Linda de Sousa Abreu was a 30-year-old prison officer at HMP Wandsworth in southwest London. On June 25, 2024, she was on duty when she made a decision that would haunt her forever. She entered the cell of Linton Wyrick, a 36-year-old convicted burglar who was serving time for an $82,000 luxury goods heist in Kensington. And while she was in full uniform, she had sex with him. But here's the kicker. Another inmate was filming the entire thing on a smuggled mobile phone. The video lasted nearly 5 minutes, and it showed Linda's discarded radio constantly crackling with messages from her colleagues. You could literally hear them trying to reach her while she was in that cell. And if that wasn't bad enough, the inmate who was filming appeared to be smoking cannabis at the same time. Wait, what? Yes, you heard that right. A prison officer, in uniform, on duty, having sex with an inmate while her radio went off, and another prisoner smoked weed and filmed it all. It sounds like something out of a movie, but it actually happened. The video went viral on social media on June 27, 2024. Within hours, staff at HMP Wandsworth identified Linda. By June 28, she'd been arrested at Heathrow Airport. She was literally trying to flee the country, heading to Madrid. Before she left, she called the prison and said she wouldn't be returning to work and that her husband would return her equipment. Her husband. That's right. Linda was a married mother of one. Oh, and it gets even more complicated. Linda had an OnlyFans account and had appeared on a Channel 4 swingers show, so this wasn't exactly someone who kept a low profile. But what really made this case stand out was the damage it caused to other female officers at HMP Wandsworth. After the video was released, those officers reported a massive increase in abuse, harassment, and sexual advances from prisoners. The judge later said the video would doubtless circulate indefinitely and had caused great harm. During the investigation, it came out that this wasn't just a one-time thing. Linda admitted to 3 separate sexual encounters with Linton. The first was the main filmed incident. The second was oral sex earlier that same day, which was partly recorded accidentally on her prison-issued body-worn camera. And the third was a previous act of sexual intercourse that had happened within 3 to 4 days of the filmed incident. On July 29, 2024, Linda pleaded guilty to misconduct in public office at Isleworth Crown Court. She was released on bail but with strict conditions. Her Portuguese passport was surrendered, she couldn't apply for international travel documents, she was barred from UK travel ports, and she had to wear an electronic tag with a curfew from 7 p.m. to 9 a.m. Then, on January 6, 2025, she was sentenced to 15 months in prison. She would serve half in custody and half on license. Because she'd already worn an electronic tag for 190 days, she received a 95-day reduction in her sentence. A psychiatric report revealed that Linda had a severe personality disorder combined with ADHD, which made her highly impulsive and reckless. The defense argued that her mental disorder should significantly reduce her culpability, but the Crown Prosecution Service called it a shocking breach of public trust and said she was a clearly enthusiastic participant. 6. Lorna Pennycook. Lorna Pennycook, a 38-year-old West Midlands police constable based at Handsworth. She worked with the Birmingham East and West organised crime and gangs teams, giving her access to sensitive information about criminals and investigations. Between 2017 and 2021, Lorna used that access in the worst possible way. In 2016, Lorna met Anthony Kennedy on a dating site. Anthony, 43, had 18 previous convictions, including vehicle theft and possession of criminal property. When he discovered in 2017 that Lorna was a police officer, he wanted to end the relationship. But Lorna persuaded him she could assist him. And that's exactly what she did. Over 4 years, Lorna became infatuated with Anthony. She illegally accessed police systems without lawful purpose, conducting 42 warrant checks for Sandwell, Anthony's area, versus just a handful for other areas. Between August and November 2017, Anthony was involved in 2 HGV thefts on August 22nd and October 26th. Lorna helped by searching for information about the investigations. Anthony was later sentenced to 32 months for those offences. Lorna provided intelligence about investigations, warrants, and associates. She often instructed Anthony to delete their messages. In February 2021, she asked him to get a burner phone for communication. The anti-corruption unit arrested her in July 2021. She resigned shortly after. In March 2023, Lorna pleaded guilty to misconduct in public office. On December 12, 2024, at Birmingham Crown Court, she received 4 years in prison. Anthony got 4 years for encouraging and assisting her offences. During her police interview, Lorna said Anthony had ruined her life and she was in fear of him, a complete reversal from the woman who'd spent 4 years helping him evade the law. 7. Choni Kenny. Choni Kenny was a 27-year-old Greater Manchester police constable who joined in 2020. She was based in City of Manchester district, but behind the scenes, Choni was living a very different life. Choni had relationships with 2 criminals. First was Josh Whelan, 28, described by the judge as a committed criminal. While Josh was locked up at HMP Forest Bank in Salford, Choni began a casual sexual relationship with him. She funded and delivered mobile phones to him. Between 2021 and 2023, Josh had 20 different mobile phones, all funded by Choni. Prison CCTV captured Choni visiting Josh in full police uniform, kissing him. After Josh's release in November 2022, they were seen in her BMW, went to Nando's, and then Choni went to work, where she searched for details of recently released prisoners. The court heard Choni knew Josh was a drug dealer and was helping him supervise his operation from prison. Then Choni and Josh broke up. She moved on to Rahim Motley, 21, a former schoolmate under GMP investigation who'd fled to Spain. Choni travelled to Spain to see him and passed confidential police information. After Rahim's arrest in February 2022, Choni searched police systems for information. She told him about a planned firearms raid, promised to find local grasses, attended a course about handling police informants, then sent images and information about warrants for firearms and drugs. On June 21, 2023, Choni was arrested and suspended. In January 2025, she pleaded guilty to 4 offences of misconduct in public office and 1 conspiracy count. On April 23, 2025, she received 3 years and 9 months at Liverpool Crown Court. She was dismissed on April 1, 2025. Judge Neil Flewitt said her actions stemmed from naivety and immaturity, that the men exploited her willingness, but she still betrayed her badge, colleagues, and the public. So there you have it, 7 female officers who were supposed to protect and serve, but instead chose to break the very laws they swore to uphold. From murder and corruption to inappropriate relationships and betraying confidential information, these cases show that the badge doesn't make you immune to poor judgment or criminal behaviour. What's really striking is how many of these officers were caught on camera, whether through body-worn cameras, CCTV, or phones. In today's world, there's almost no way to hide your actions. Everything is recorded, everything is documented, and the truth always comes out eventually. These women threw away their careers, their freedom, and their reputations for what? A moment of rage? A forbidden relationship? Access to criminal networks? None of it was worth it. Now, I want to hear from you. Which case shocked you the most? Drop a comment below and let me know where you're watching from and what time it is in your location. If you found this video informative, don't forget to hit that like button, share, and subscribe for more true crime content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.